let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I'm talking about the human collective, of course. But many of us are having it, whether it be in our marriages or as singles. So we're having it, but we're not really benefiting from the divine creative power of sex. Instead, we're only getting the unconscious benefits of sex, whether it be children. I'm filming! It's the one time where we can focus and be fully present in the moment, fully grounded in the moment, and yet we're not able to leverage that to consciously create. Instead, we get the unconscious results. First and foremost, though, you've got to get your sacral chakra in balance. In balance. That's what we're talking about today. I'll talk about that sacral chakra, and then in the next video, we're going to talk about some of the things you actually need to be doing so that you can use that sexual energy and combine it with your thought energy and intentions and actually use it to bring physical things into form. The sacral chakra is the area below the navel to right above the tailbone, okay? It is the area from about here to about here, okay? The sacral chakra governs our sexual potency, our zest, vitality, our passion, and it is the seat of our emotions. When the energy is flowing in this area, we have healthy relationships. We feel an intimate connection to the creative power of the universe. We're able to leverage our creative power in order to create. When I say our relationships are harmonious, I mean that we are free of issues like codependency, destructive emotions such as anger, rage, jealousy, things of that nature. We are able to stand in our sexual power. We have a strong sense of who we are sexually, and anything that may have been repressed or a source of shame has been healed, and the energies, the divine masculine and feminine energies that are generated in this area are flowing in a complementary and harmonious way. Our yin and yang energies are housed in this particular chakra. And so when there is disharmony in this area, it is going to affect our sex life. It is going to affect our emotions. It is going to affect our relationships. And most importantly, it is going to affect our creative power, our ability to manifest. And I'm all about prosperity consciousness, wealth creation, relationships, and living well, connecting you to the vision of who you truly are and helping you to leverage your creative power. So we have this wonderful seat of power right here that oftentimes we are using unconsciously by entering into relationships that are not suited for us, by giving up our sexual energy and sharing our manifestation energies with other people who do not share similar intentions, who have messy energy. Oftentimes we see this area in a very lower mind mentality. We see this area in a very 3D concrete thinking stupid sort of way. And the reason why I say that is this, guys, we're moving into a new consciousness, a new way of understanding that everything is mental, that our true power relies on our ability to create new possibilities for ourselves, or to see new possibilities for ourselves in each and every moment. We are no longer victims of circumstances. We are no longer trapped in fear anymore. It is time for us to let go of these institutions and these ways of being and thinking that have kept us steeped in ignorance and unable to really use our divine gifts that were given to us by the Creator. It is time for us to let go of cultural modalities or dogmas, rituals, and things that were put into place to actually keep us at a certain level. And it's time for us to recognize that along with everything else that is evolving in the universe, we have to evolve too. And as sentient thinking beings, that we should actually be leading the charge, and we should actually recognize who we really are. And that when you begin to do that, you begin to realize that you can actually create your reality in each and every moment. And in doing so, you take advantage of your God-given treasure that lies in between your legs, is what I'm saying, between your legs. So it's a topic that, when you think about sex, it's been something that people have felt shy to really talk about. And we have to ask ourselves, why? What has caused the shame to be brought around this topic? What has made it shameful even within our bedrooms? Many of us can be sexually repressed, or our sacral chakra spaces can be totally out of balance, closed, or underactive. We have to ask ourselves, what is actually causing this? When you think about it from the standpoint that this area is the source of the greatest energy that we know as human beings. The creative life force is here. This is the womb space. For man, it is the space that houses that particular energy that gives life, that generates the life force, and gives rise to everything that mankind can actually put out there into the universe, be it form, material form, or spiritual form, or whatever else. So if we consider that, we have to ask ourselves, well, how am I misusing that, or how am I actually using that? It's worth actually thinking about. Understanding that typically when we have sex, or we think about this chakra space, we are having it from against the backdrop that this is to be used for physical gratification. So we do it based on our urge, which is very instinctual, which is really very basal, or we do it for the purpose of procreating. Those are typically the two more concrete, lower level ways that we utilize the energy of this area. We have yet to take into consideration, or to go to the next level of understanding that we procreate, but we need to procreate something other than form. And we need to recognize that when we actually merge those feminine and masculine energies, that the genesis of life comes into being in the etheric realm, and that we are constantly creating something. Energy is either increasing and creating, or it's decreasing and it's dying, or it's being drained. There is no in between. It's a living thing. It's constantly in flux. And so what that means is, when you are having sex and you are doing it unconsciously, or you're utilizing the energy of this chakra space unconsciously, you're actually missing out on a golden opportunity to get everything you want. Because you're thinking at the level of the flesh instead of thinking at the level of here, and thinking at the spirit level. And we've been programmed to think that that's what we're supposed to use this for. And we've been programmed to be ashamed of it and to not embrace it. And to not embrace something is to not realize its power, correct? So I wanted to just give you a brief overview of that sacral chakra, how it applies to men, that this is where your vitality, your potency, your passion, your ability to balance your emotions with your discipline, your ability to manifest and generate the kind of life you want for yourself. Those are the energies that actually come out of this area. And so those energies actually need to be flowing at all times to your advantage. And you need to use those energies responsibly. And you need to use them consciously. So first you need to make sure that they're healed. You need to make sure that the energies are open and flowing, and then you need to make sure that you are using them consciously to actually get the things that you want out of life. And that involves the choices that you make, the people that you have these relationships with, the women that you actually decide to go into. What are their energies like? Do they have messy energy? What are you actually manifesting and creating when you are done doing whatever it is that you're doing, and you think that that energy exchange there's been closure that's been brought off? Well, that's not the case. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean that whatever was created in that dynamic isn't continuing to resonate for you out in the etheric realm, and bringing back something to you that more than likely is undesirable, especially if you're with the wrong person and you have the wrong intentions, and you didn't really you weren't really in a space where the two of you were actually co-creating or creating together. So what are some of the signs of blockages in this area? Some of the signs of blockages in this area would be unhealthy emotional attachments, addictive behaviors, inability to manage emotions in a healthy way, being very possessive in a relationship, having a lot of codependent dynamics in a relationship, not having a healthy sex drive. It may be a low libido. It can be an actual a libido that's in overdrive. Things that have to do with the actual anatomical parts. For example, prostate and testicular diseases are related to imbalances in the sacral chakra area, as well as infertility issues. If you're not producing enough sperm, or you have particular issues with the sperm. All of these are energy dynamics that come about in physical form as a result of the imbalances in this particular area. So since this is the area that we're manifesting from, since this is our most creative space, and this is where we can store a lot of energy, and when we release it through orgasm, it'd be nice that, you know, we were in a space where the energies were flowing well, and when we decided we wanted to manifest from this area, then we could get the most out of that manifestation, and we could focus our intentions on perhaps extending that energy and holding that energy, and then releasing it with our partner, and moving that energy towards a common goal. It'd be nice if we could focus on that, but before we can get to that, we have to make sure that this area is actually healthy, and we have to make sure that we're actually going into the right people. So these are things that really we have to talk about and think about and become very conscious about. What are some of the ways that we can actually heal the sacral chakra? There are lots of ways we can heal it. We can do any number of things, but you can meditate on this area. The color that is associated with the sacral chakra is the radiant, expansive, life-giving, and cheerful color orange. Orange! I love to surround myself with colors. I energize my life with colors, and it has actually de-aged me. As I digress for a moment, I used to have lines here across my forehead, and I'm working on those with consciousness, and they're almost gone, and I'm 47, so it's working. It's doing something for me. Let's let it work on you. So anyway, when we start figuring out some of the other things that we can do, dance and movement actually free the energy of this area. This area is associated with the element of water. So bringing water to this area mindfully, whether it is in taking a bath, charging your water or your shower, or whether it is sitting by the lake or walking through a stream with your shoes off, can you believe that water in and of itself actually releases and harmonizes the flow of energy in this area? Essential oils and crystals are great for this area. Now, when people hear crystals, they think rocks. You know, like, how are rocks going to heal me? Well, this is what you need to understand. Rocks are energy. Rocks are vibrating. You can pick up a crystal and feel its vibration in your hand. I know I can. I'm sensitive to energy. And there's specific crystals that actually have a resonance that is higher than that's higher than yours. So when you place that stone in your sacral chakra space, your organs and the energy of that area actually entrain to the frequency of that particular stone, and it raises the frequency of your body. And remember, we're talking about density. Density within the body is another word for dis-ease or disease. The less density we have, the more life force energy that's flowing, the more spiritual energy that's flowing, that good ass prana or that chi or whatever it is that you want to call it, ki, the more of that's flowing, then the greater the degree of lightness, okay, and the higher the vibration is. So that force field becomes even more powerful as a magnet when it's healthy. As well, managing your emotions and getting rid of feelings of shame and guilt that are related to your sexual attitudes that have caused you to put limits on or to self-impose restrictions with regard to your expression of your sexuality. It's very, very important. Sex has its place, and sex is divine, and sex is sacred. But sex is something that you have to own. And it's something that you have to be comfortable with. And it's something that, yeah, you need to protect your sexual energy, because those whom you share your sexual energy with, you're sharing more than just that. You're actually creating things and bringing things into existence. So these are the reasons why it's important. So meditation, charging your water and sending the water, once you've charged it with your thoughts to that area, is important. As well, life experiences. The more that you begin to generate feelings of self-worth, deservingness, self-love, the greater the health of that area. Since it is a creative space, and I think my video is about to stop, guys, I'm going to have to, it is a low battery, I'm going to have to pause and then come right back. Sorry guys, the back had to go get that charger. But also releasing negative energies and drainers from your life. I like to call these people dream killers and energy vampires. These energies affect your sacral chakra, okay, because they drain you of your life force energy. They emotionally wear you down. And when you're emotionally worn down and you've been drained of your life force energy, that sacral chakra is closing up. Your zest for life is diminished and you feel like crap. Also, essential oils are excellent. For those of you who can't use stones, and I think I mentioned the stones, I didn't get to finish that, but like orange calcite is one, citrine is another one. Any of the stones that are orange in color are excellent stones for bringing, bloodstone is another stone, I believe, that's good for that area, are excellent for raising the vibration. You can also use other stones that are high vibrational stones in that area to actually lift your overall vibration, which will help to harmonize the dynamics of your chakras and the overall energy fields. As well, the essential oils. Essential oils, sandalwood, patchouli oil, rose oil, lang lang oil, did I say orange oil? Orange oil. Those are great oils for releasing the energy of that area. Again, these are naturally found elements in society. Natural found elements within the earth that are high frequency and are actually, you could consider them living matter or living energy. They're energy. They have a high vibrational frequency that actually allow you to entrain and unlock some of the blockages. So those are key. These are just some basic things you can do. I don't want to talk too much. I have a lot to say that I'll be speaking about in other videos. I'm going to ask you, because if you've gotten this far, you've definitely gotten something from the video. And in order to keep your own giving and receiving channels open and keeping your, so to speak, energetic blood from not clotting by holding on to it, I've given you something, and now it's time for you to give back. You have received, and so it's time for you to give. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you put your positive energy out there and you let the universe know that I liked this. Send me more. Send me more abundance, not just from Tunisia Ali of Butterfly Transformations, but send me more of all kinds of abundance is basically the message that you're sending, okay? Whether you realize it or not, you are consciously creating in each and every moment. And so it behooves you to harness the power, your creative power, and be aware of what it is you're creating. Become conscious.